we are recording this meeting, so it will be available to the public on the website. Are we ready, Ginger?
I think so.
Okay. All right. Call this meeting to order. Did everybody have a chance to review both the February and the August minutes?
I don't remember the February meeting.
I wasn't there. I was sick.
I did review the August meeting minutes, though.
Okay. Does anyone have any corrections to either of those meeting minutes?
Wait, Carolyn, this was February and what?
February and August. Because we didn't have a quorum in August.
Well, the February meeting, the way I spell Terry is with one R, T-E, one R, one I. There's another Terry in the group, I think, that's with two R's, but it's Terry Stokes.
Oh, you're only one R? Okay, gotcha.
One R, yeah.
We have a problem with name spellings.
Maybe I'll just put Teresa.
Yeah, you can, either way is fine by me.
Okay, any other corrections to either? Do I have a motion to approve the minutes for both the February and the August meetings?
So moved.
So moved.
Okay.
No, I have a comment. I have a comment to make before that, Carol Ann.
Okay.
Hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Patty.
Okay, so I'm speaking of the August meeting, and under new business where it says Patty asked about the person who had claimed discrimination, blah, blah, blah. And it points out that Patty and Michael commented that they thought it would be appropriate to allow, I'll read the whole thing. I asked about the person who had claimed discrimination because she was not allowed to attend a program because she is under 60. The current policy is not to allow persons under 60 to attend at all. Patty and Michael commented that they thought it would be appropriate to allow such people to attend a program if they are accompanied by a senior, and if there's room in the program and no other seniors want to attend. Ginger said she would revisit the policy. One of the main reasons I brought it up, though, was because of the location of people, seniors in other towns. And that wasn't mentioned there, and I think that Michael was also referring to that when he made his comment, but I mentioned how in other towns, if there's enough room after all the residents have signed up, the residents of the town, for a meeting, if there's still space, that I felt that other towns do let people from out of town in. And I know we haven't been doing that, even though there's been space. And I've dealt with some people who really wanted to go to a particular meeting, and I knew there was lots of room, but they were from another town. So I was bringing that point up last week as well. But that aspect of it didn't get put in the notes.
Okay.
So Patty, I need you to tell me exactly the wording you want to add to the minutes.
I'd like to add that it was also discussed that seniors from other towns are not presently allowed to come by the fact that in other areas,
you have to back up.
They
you
often
blipped
do
out.
that. And Concord also.
We missed most of what you said, Patty.
Yeah, we're missing. I don't think she can hear us.
Yeah, I'm missing. Patty's freezing. She's frozen.
She's freezing.
Yeah, I can hear you. Should I? I'm
Can you start
freezing?
again from?
Am I frozen?
Here's what I
Can you
have. It
hear
was
me?
It was also discussed that seniors from other towns are not presently allowed to
Attend.
meetings at the Concord Senior Center,
Or we should say event.
even if space permits in a program. Sure. That's,
Okay,
I'm
we'll
just
change it to
ad-libbing kind of.
events,
Even if space permits.
even if space permits. Okay,
And they do not then have to be accompanied by a senior.
And it doesn't have anything to do with that aspect of it that I was bringing up. They have to be a senior, but they can be from other towns. Understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
For
Well,
example, there have been several meetings.
What I was saying is, if they're within the town
Go ahead,
and they
Michael.
want to accompany a senior, then that would also be allowed on an as a space available basis. So that's just saying those are two different things.
Absolutely.
So we
all right, so what I
Yes,
have is
they
an
are.
amend, oh,
And the other part of it,
wait, Patty, I need to have exactly
part?
the wording that you want to amend in the minutes. So right now I have, it was also discussed that seniors from other towns are not presently allowed to attend events at the Concord COA, even if space permits in a program.
No. Take
No?
out the even if they have permits in the
Oh,
even if there's space, even if space permits after Concord seniors have signed up
okay,
in a
Thank you.
program
okay.
where other senior centers do that. And I have one other addition. A lot of people look at Concord as being a very sort of snooty town. And so it seems to add to that feeling of, oh, they won't let us in, but we let them into similar. That's off. You don't have to put that in there.
Oh, that's not for the minutes? Oh, okay.
You've got the wording
Okay,
right,
okay.
Margaret.
No.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. I'm sorry about that. It was hard to hear you.
just to
All right,
clarify,
so we can approve we'll have to do them separately, and the August minutes will have to be as amended.
this amendment, is it the February or the August minutes? I can't find it right now.
August minutes.
August minute.
Okay.
Okay. Are there any other changes to either set? Do I have a motion to approve the February minutes as written?
Approved.
So moved.
So moved.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the
Hey.
August minutes with the correction?
So moved.
So moved.
I
Okay,
move.
approved. Okay. Margaret, would you like to start with the Minuteman Senior Services report?
Okie dokie.
Or do you want someone else to go first?
Oh, no, I'm ready. Sorry, I'm just pulling out my notes. Okay, so one of the issues that we have at Minuteman is that there are 6 councils on aging right now that don't have a board representative: Acton, Boxborough, Harvard, Littleton, Stowe, and Woburn. Boxborough and Woburn, Boxborough hasn't had a representative for, I don't think, gosh, it's probably been 10 or 15 years. Woburn has 1, they're entitled to 2, but Acton, Harvard, Littleton, and Stowe, that's really concerning. So our board development committee is working hard to fill those roles. In finance news, we ran all the Minuteman numbers taking out all the COVID effects, and it would have been a very good year, strong year. So the numbers actually now, I think I reported last time, are wildly inflated because we got so much money from the state, and we got a PPP loan from the state, and spending was reduced because people were cutting back on their home care. All of that is starting to ramp up again. We are starting to work toward reentry plans. And I probably mentioned this last time too. They're talking about a hoteling model, which sort of we have there already. We had it even before, and it's basically nobody has their own desk. You just kind of come in on the days you are working in the office, and you sit down at any particular spot. Only a few people would have a designated office. So that is they're going to be working out a schedule so that the capacity isn't exceeded, and so people will work some days from home and some days in the office. All the meal sites are operating, except I didn't realize Concord had been relocated to the Acton Council on Aging, so we don't have a meal site here.
Newbury Court has been the site for many years, and apparently has asked them to find a new location. And they temporarily went to Acton, but now Acton would like them to find a more permanent home.
Oh boy, okay. Minuteman has had to hire some paid drivers for Meals on Wheels because a bunch of volunteers dropped, not surprisingly, not wanting to go into people's homes. The state has advised that the Minuteman staff that are responsible for going out into the community, like the nurses, the care managers, that they're expected to transition into more face-to-face visits. They're working on that transition. And Minuteman received an award from the Aging Innovations, and it's an Aging Innovations and Achievement Awards from the National Association of Area Agencies on Aging, because Minuteman created an app that I know I've mentioned to you before that's for Meals on Wheels volunteers or drivers too. They use the app and they can check off if there's a change in the condition of the person who's receiving their meal, so that the caregiver at Minuteman can follow up. So it's just a way to get that information over much quicker. And I believe that's all. That's it.
Very good. Okay. Patty, do you have anything to report on Concord Housing Authority?
I do. Nothing that really directly concerns us, just a little wrap up of their last meeting, which was Tuesday, September 15 at 6 p.m. And they are looking for an executive director still. Mary Ann, however, who is their present director, and I can look up her last name if you need it again. I can't recall off the top of my head, but Mary Ann, thank you, Nelson, director of Concord Housing Authority, suggests that perhaps she could stay on until January 1st anyway, and that they wait until January 1st to advertise the position after the holidays, etc. Her hope now is to be out by March 1st, 2021. So she'll probably be there till then, I'm pretty sure. They talked about the Commonwealth Ave housing that they've been trying to get started building, et cetera, but they're having trouble getting a surveyor to see if the 50-foot setback will work that they need for it. They may need to look for another surveyor because they haven't got one yet. And new business, they talked about how COVID dollars that apparently they received will be used to offset some deficit that's come up recently. And they also decided that their meetings will be the first Thursday of each month in the future at 6 p.m. Kind of going back to the original time. They're looking for a new board member because one of their board members was elected to a different town committee. And they're not sure, however, if that board member wants to leave housing committee. So they're going to double check that first. Or even if it's possible to be on two town boards at once.
No.
No, they don't like you to do that.
So they're looking into all that.
They don't like you to do it. But
Right,
if it's an
I
elected
figured.
position, I would think that would take priority over what the town prefers.
Mhm.
No, I don't think they're allowed to
Well,
hold two positions.
Well, the state law doesn't prohibit it.
Oh, state-
Okay. So.
Patty,
they just
you said
wanted
they're
to
having
confirm
trouble
all
getting
that
a
before they
surveyor for what?
For the Commonwealth Avenue property.
It's for the land,
Commonwealth?
yeah,
Okay.
Commonwealth Avenue property.
Okay. Thank you.
And finally, they talked about town meeting and receiving, again, I believe it's $500,000 this year for affordable housing. By the way, the Commonwealth Ave property is affordable housing. That's what's been in the works for a very long time. It's one unit. At any rate, they complimented people on the board for making sure that that got passed at town meeting and so forth. That's it. That's what I have to report.
All right, thank you. Okay, no report on disability. Concord after 60. Ann, do you have any activities going on?
Yeah, we had a meeting yesterday afternoon by Zoom, of course, and Diane Brenner, who is the pharmacist down at West Concord Pharmacy, spoke. She's, you know, she speaks to the COA periodically too, but she was just so good and just an excellent speaker with really good advice with a lot of questions that came from the group. The group was small, probably, 20, 15, maybe 15 to 20 at the most. But we're still going. We're having the scheduled meetings each month by Zoom, and we're trying to keep in touch with each other. And, you know, that's about all we can do. But I think that the fact that we can, the small groups within the larger group are working. The book group, the walking group, the arts group are functioning quite well during this whole crazy pandemic time. And the larger group does get together, and the steering committee is still working. So we're just rolling along, you know, smaller numbers, of course, but I think it's going to work until we can eventually get back together face to face. So any of you are welcome to come anytime. It's fun.
All right, thank you. Did anybody have a chance to go to town meeting? Any chance? No? Okay, neither did I. Okay, so we had
did.
chairs
I
breakfast
did.
this week.
I did,
You did? Okay. Anything you'd like to share?
yeah. I don't have that. No, except that it was very well run, I thought, very well run.
Okay, yeah,
I
apparently
was
it-
just answering, yes, I went.
Okay. So we had a chairs breakfast this week. Carmen, the town moderator, said the town meeting went well. She asked if anyone who attended, if they had any ideas about how to improve it. She'd like to hear from you.
Hopefully we won't have to do it again next year.
Well, they are talking about planning the meeting for June next year, just in case we're in the same situation, and then it won't have to be postponed multiple times. So we'll see. Let's see, the Historical Commission is amending their bylaws about describing the 50 years or more criteria for when you need to request permission. Let's see. The Economic Vitality Group, they encourage people to shop and eat locally. They also have signs that say invest in Concord, and the signs are available at the Visitor Center in Concord if you want to put one up somewhere. Our select board representative is changing. It's going to be Susan Bates in the future. She cannot attend today because the select board meets on Monday afternoons. So that was my wrap up from the chair's breakfast. I don't have anything else to report. Does anyone have any new business or anything else they would like to discuss?
I have a question about what you just said, Carol Ann.
Okay.
So will our meeting continue to be at 4? Because if so, apparently Susan Bates won't be able to attend at all.
I had a conversation with her, and
Is that right?
and there is a chance that the select board meeting may change. So I don't know that this group wants to make a change until we find out what the select board is going to do.
Okay. Is this time and day of the week generally good for people? It's not good for Carol. She said Tuesdays and Thursdays are better. But in the past, Mondays have always been good for most people. Is that still the case at this point?
Just for me.
Sure.
Okay, so Mondays are still good. So we won't discuss changing the day until we hear back from the select board about their meeting. So I think we've been doing the third Monday. Is that still good? Because I want Kate to set up the meetings for the entire year so that we have the same Zoom link for all the meetings, and that will make posting the agenda much easier. So I will set that up third Monday at 4 o'clock. Okay, Ginger, would you like to give your report?
Oh, nice to see everybody. So since we last met, when we last met, we were on team staffing. We have now converted to the entire staff is here Monday through Thursday. The only day the staff is not in the office is on Fridays, which is designated as deep cleaning day. So everyone is working from home on Fridays, but we are actually here at Harvey Wheeler Monday through Thursday. So that's been really nice. Communication, certainly has been challenging throughout the pandemic, and the more opportunity we have to be together, the easier that is for us. So that's been a good thing. We have actually hired 2 new outreach coordinators, one of which started last week. Her name is Valerie Birch. And the second one is starting this coming Monday. Her name is Hillary Norris. Staff members are still not allowed to share an office, and those 2 outreach workers typically were housed in the same office. So we did need to convert the conference room off the lounge into an office for one of them, which is fine right now because we're still closed to the public. And hopefully the ability for people to share offices will coincide with the time that we open to the public and we can move them back in together. But that's what we needed to do right now. The only people who are not working Monday through Thursday, we have another pair that share an office. That's the activity coordinator and the volunteer and public relations coordinator. And because they can't share an office, they have to come in on alternate days. The good news is that they're both part-time, so the amount of time they have to work from home is still somewhat minimal. They're in here 2 days a week. One of them's here on Monday and Wednesday. One of them's here on Tuesday and Thursday. So we have continued to try to be as creative as we possibly can in putting as many programs onto Zoom as we can. We've tried to create as many drive-through activities as we can. People are very enthused about what we're doing. They love the giveaways. They love the drive-through meals. I think it's giving people an opportunity to put something on their calendar and look forward to it. They enjoy seeing the staff as they drive through for our meals. They just enjoy the fact that they don't have to cook a meal that day. Because that's been successful, we're expanding the Wednesday lunch. In October, it will be twice a week, Mondays and Wednesdays. We'll see how popular that is. If for some reason the second day of the week isn't that popular, of course, we'll discontinue, but we're going to give that a try in October, doing that twice a week. We had our annual barbecue. We did it anyway. We did it last week. The police department put that on for us. They did a fabulous job, very well organized. Lots of helpful staff came down. We had a maximum that we could serve of 100 people, and we took 100 reservations. So that was a very popular event, went very well. And we're very grateful to the support of the Concord Police for putting that on for us. People were very, very appreciative. We are going to do a drive-through flu clinic. I think I mentioned that last month. We had the capacity to take 144 reservations for that, and we took those within the first 3 days. So we are already completely booked for the drive-through flu vaccine. We did take a waiting list, but it's highly unlikely that people are going to cancel. People are very grateful to have the opportunity to drive through and have that done in a way that's efficient and prevents them from needing to go to the doctor's office or to a local pharmacy to get that done. That's coming up on October 6th. So let's see here. Speaking to the question that was raised last month about both our out-of-town senior policy as well as our under 60 policy. So some of you didn't hear, but I did give a whole explanation last month as to how we came to change that policy maybe about 7 or so years ago. But just a quick recap was because many Concord seniors were feeling quite frustrated that many of our activities and offerings were full of people from out of town, and they did not have a chance to sign up. So that led to that policy, with the exception of things that we require a payment for. We've always allowed out of town residents to come to that. If they call up, like the day before and there's still room, that's always been an option if it's something that you pay for. So I did have speak to a couple of people about that. I think that, we're trying to rewrite that to make a few exceptions, such as, if there's enough room, maybe 48 hours in advance, maybe they could do it, or maybe and that if it's but if it's something we've paid for, meaning, the Concord's taxpayers have paid for through their, through the, but if it's something where we've hired somebody, let's phrase it that way, that we would consider some kind of, yes, they can join, but they need to pay some kind of fee, which seems only fair if they're not a Concord taxpayer, that they contribute something towards the cost of the program. So we're working on a revised policy. In terms of the under 60 age, I think we're willing to consider a policy that we have to check to be sure that this isn't considered to be discriminatory. But many COAs will offer people age 55 to 60 the opportunity to come if there's room. And we might be able to consider something like that. But you do have to be careful about just saying anyone under 60, because it wouldn't be fair if everyone started bringing their grandchildren, as an example, to attend, that it would totally change the experience for everyone attending if small children were allowed to come in. I don't think that's what most people are looking for. So, but there is some commonality in possibly attracting 50-year-olds, and possibly we would have it be, as Patty mentioned, if they're accompanied by a Concord senior coming as their guest. So we don't have it yet. We are working on a proposed write-up, and of course that would take, town manager approval to change that policy. But I just want you to know that we are looking at it, seeing if there's any way to make some adaptations that aren't too onerous for the clerical staff to keep track of in terms of who's signing up. And if there is going to be a payment involved with non-residents, what that would be and how we go about collecting that, et cetera. So we're working on it. The last thing I was going to mention is that I did have a conversation with Susan Bates, our new selectman liaison. She called me personally to apologize for not being able to come to the meeting. But I offered her the opportunity to come here, take a little tour, obviously with both of us wearing our masks, and just to help make a connection. So I think she'd be interested in doing that. She's out of town till the end of the month, but we will probably try to set that up sometime in October. She also mentioned that if we need help recruiting new board members, that she would be happy to, make some suggestions or help you recruit. So keep that in mind if you want to try to fill any vacant positions, that she sees that as something she would be happy to help you with. So I think that's it, unless I'm happy to take questions from people. They have questions.
I had one question. I'm wondering, do you know if there are other, so since the drive-through flu clinic is full up, are there other opportunities similar to that in Concord that we know of?
I'm not aware of any.
The pharmacist does flu shots. And if you go down to the pharmacy, they'll give you flu shots.
Right. And
Right.
so, I mean, I think a lot do in the facilities. I'm just wondering if there are any other drive-through that we know of.
I'm not aware of any other drive-through in Concord. I think other towns are also looking at drive-through clinics, but I'm not aware of any in Concord.
Okay.
That
I'm
doesn't.
gonna look into it, and I can let you know. I don't know if you're still fielding calls, but we should have more available. I would think that it would be something that places might be trying to organize, or it would be a good idea to organize.
Maybe you should talk to West Concord Pharmacy and see if they would do it. Or talk to CVS.
Yeah, CVS, I know.
Well, our clinic is through the Board of Health, and they contract with Emerson Home Care. That's who's doing our clinic, and they, obviously pay Emerson Home Care to come and do this. So.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Is there any timeline on when people could come back in, even on a limited basis? I mean, I met with somebody who can't afford his internet access, and normally he'd be able to go to the Council on Aging and use a computer, but
So the census.
If he signed up and he was the only one in there or something like that?
I don't think so. We do have the interview room, as I've mentioned, I think before. If we really need to see a client in person, we do have the room with the plexiglass, et cetera. And if both persons are wearing a mask, they can come in. But we do not have a policy yet to allow casual use of, like, say, a computer. It seems unlikely that we will be open before there's a vaccine, but that's not sure. But that's the sense.
It doesn't, there's no state law saying that, so I'm wondering why.
Because we're trying to follow the governor's guidelines of seniors are safer at home. And so we don't want to be, same reason why we are currently not offering van rides to the grocery store, because there are alternatives to getting your groceries, either curbside pickup, delivery, or we have volunteer shoppers as a way for seniors to get groceries without exposing themselves and going to a grocery store. So we're trying to follow the advice of the governor's office to be safer at home when at all possible. And if we open up, then we're sort of going against that by encouraging gatherings, even if there's
No. That's not what I said at all. I just said, I mean, you can sign up to go to the BD Center even, and just one person at a time, and go in and do one thing, and the computers are in the basement or something anyway. But that's not such a good example, but I know it's not your decision, but.
The library.
Well, there's also a sanitary issue in terms of staffing. Everything would have to be completely sanitized every time a new person comes in here, which is what we're dealing with right now. You use the bathroom facility, it's your responsibility to sanitize it after you use the bathroom. Same if you go into the kitchen and open the refrigerator door, you have to sanitize it after you touch it. If you touch the microwave, you have to sanitize it. So there's a lot of sanitation requirements in place to keep us all safe. And if we do, I'm not saying we wouldn't, I'm just pointing out that if we were to start allowing people to use the computer lab, it would have to be one person at a time, and the room would have to be sanitized after they left. So
of course,
there would have to be additional custodial duties to do that.
Is it possible to access the internet outside of your building? Like if someone brought their own laptop and sat in the car?
Also check out a hotspot from the library, and we certainly have a couple of seniors who are borrowing a hotspot from the Concord Library, and they have internet at home using that hotspot. And if you have no internet at all and you're low income, you can try to get on the Comcast Essentials program, which is $9.95 a month. So some seniors may qualify for that. Which makes
I didn't mean to focus on internet access particularly. I'm just thinking there are a lot of. It just seemed strange to me that the building is still completely closed down when just about everything else is open, at least on a limited basis,
Even
and particularly an essential business.
Concord Library today started doing that. You have to reserve a time slot to go there, but it was exciting to go in there. Really?
Really? We're allowed to go.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Today it started. You have to reserve a spot, and you're given 45 minutes for, during, like I reserved 3 o'clock, and I had from 3 to 3:45 if I wanted it to browse around or whatever.
Finally.
Yeah. I had a comment about the flu thing when there's a chance.
What do you mean by when there's a chance?
Oh, should I do it now?
Yeah.
I'm backing up to a different subject. So with the flu clinic, one thing I wanted to say was that Walgreens also has shots available on a walk-in basis. And what I found at the senior center, I really love the idea of the drive-by, but my appointment turned out to be late in the day. And because of that, I was afraid they might possibly run out of high dose. And so I called Walgreens and they had plenty of high dose. And I was able to go get it there, which I just thought a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. I really wanted a high dose. And I guess Emerson isn't able to say ahead of time for sure how many of their doses will be high dose. Almost seems like they should all be high dose though, because they're seniors. Anyway, for future, it's something to consider. One time I did go may not have been Concord Senior Center. It may have been when I was in Chelmsford, and all the high dose were gone. And so.
We don't have any control over the inventory, you know, and they don't, and the Board of Health doesn't have a control over how much inventory they're going to be able to get. And there are, I think you have to be 65 to get high dose, and we serve people over age 60. So you've got a 5-year age span, 60 to 65, and those folks are not eligible for high dose. So we have to have both. And or we're trying to have both, because then those people wouldn't be able to get a shot at all if every shot was high dose. They wouldn't be eligible for that. So
I
you know,
see.
there's no. It's not. All we can do is be happy that we're getting. You know, I want you to know that the 144 was not random. We took a look at how many shots. We typically give them maybe about 150 shots a year. It varies a little bit. So that wasn't a random number. So we feel like we're giving as many shots as we typically do. Now, I think this year there's increased interest in flu shots. You know, but we did not reduce the amount of capacity that we had. In fact, we increased the clinic is running for 3 hours instead of 2 hours in order to get these people through the drive-through mechanism, you know. So Emerson Home Care actually has to be hired for an extra hour to stay here in order to get up to that 144 amount. Hopefully there may be people that, such as yourself, Patty, that have changed their mind and decided to get it at their doctor's office or at a local pharmacy, you know, and maybe those folks will cancel their appointments, and then that will open up slots for people on the waiting list. So we might get more in than I think. Maybe by then, maybe by October 6th, they will have had another opportunity and they will have gotten it taken care of. And, you know, we just need them to cancel their spots, knowing that they've got a waiting list. So maybe we'll do a robo call to everybody who signed up, reminding them that the flu clinic is coming up, and if you're no longer interested or you've gotten this elsewhere, to please call us, that we do have people waiting.
The drive-through idea is such a great one in this pandemic.
Right.
Wonderful.
It may be so great that we want to do it every year. We'll see. We just at this point, we're very aware that the weather could make that not a very nice day for us if we're out there giving shots in the pouring rain.
That's true.
But we are going ahead with it, rain or shine, you know.
You'll need a big umbrella.
We have, the COA owns one tent and we borrowed 3 others. So there's a tent for the nurses to be under. But I'm sure everybody would still get wet. Even with, we have 4 stations, 4 tents, but it would still be not very nice in the rain, but hopefully we won't have to deal with that.
Good.
Okay. Any other comments? No. Okay, so we have election of officers for next year.
Oh boy.
Carol Ann, before you do that, I don't think I'm going to be on the board next year. Is that right? But I need to not be on the board next year. How are you going to put that? I need to not be on the board next year. I've been on for a long time and I need to be off.
Okay, we'll let you step down, but we'll really miss you.
Well, I will always support the COA in Concord. I have been forever, but I need to be off the board.
Okay.
So wait a minute, is her term ending or is she stepping down? Or,
Stepping down. I don't think it's ending.
Alan's been on, I think it's for 6 or 7 years, but because you used up an expiring term, you're still eligible to continue. But we understand if you don't wish to.
I have you on until 2021, so I have you for another year.
No, I need to step down. I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay. Arthur and Milton's terms end this year, so they will be stepping down as well or leaving.
We need another male, Michael. We need another male on the board.
We do indeed.
Yes.
Okay, so Terry Stokes is going to fill in one of our regular board memberships. She was associate before. And then we have Grazia Dela Cruz. Take the other position. Now we'll have to recruit another regular board member to replace Anne. And,
I'm almost at the end of it. Can I call you back in 5 minutes?
and then
oh my.
we have to find 2 associate members now. So we'll need 3 more members. We can talk to Susan Bates about that and see if she can recommend anyone. But if any of you knows of anyone who might be interested, please let me know.
So wait a minute, you said Terry Stokes is moving up and what else?
And Grazia Dela Cruz, who's not actually officially on yet. She's getting an
Oh.
appointment. Yeah.
Okay, as a full member or?
As a full member, yes.
Okay. Okay.
So we will need 3 new members. Put on your thinking caps, please.
I might
Okay,
have a suggestion. I might, but I'm not sure yet.
okay. Well, ask them if they're interested.
I will.
Okay, so officers. Anyone interested in being chair?
Mm.
Now, don't all jump at once.
Carol Ann, you're doing such a wonderful job. I think I nominate you.
Second.
Well, I don't want to take it away from someone else if someone wants to do it. Anyone interested in being chair? Okay, well, I am willing to do it for another year.
Oh,
Great.
terrific. Thank you.
Well, I have to be reappointed, and I haven't really heard back from Stephen Crane about that, even though I've emailed him a couple of times, so I'm not really sure where things stand.
Well, I'd give a nomination or a support or whatever you need.
Okay, thank you. I don't know what he does, and I've emailed Grazia because you're also in the same position. We do have to do things. There's training that we have to do. Some things happen every year, but some things happen when you are appointed, and then you have to be sworn in. So there is a process that we have to go through, and he hasn't gotten back to me. So I will follow up with him again. Okay, so since Arthur is he's leaving, since his term ended, we will need someone to cover the Disability Commission meetings. Is anyone interested in doing that? I'm not sure when they meet. I think it was Thursday, but it could have changed.
I could do that.
Who was that?
Grazia. Hi.
Grazia. Okay.
I think I might be interested in filling in for the Concord After 60 group.
Okay.
Oh, excellent.
Great.
So if you just tell me how to get in touch with the people and what the schedule is, I'll follow up on it.
Well, you can get in touch with me about that because I'm very involved with Concord After 60. Terry, I'd love to talk to you about it. Absolutely.
Okay, what's your contact information, your phone number, or
I'll
whatever.
give you my phone. How about you want my phone number? I'll give it out to you. It's 978-369-5651.
369
5651. Yeah. I'll be glad to talk to you about Concord After 60.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'd like to, I think that sounds like a good group. I know some of the founding people of that, so
Okay.
so that would be good.
Well, that would be Anne.
That would be me.
Yeah.
Don't forget Pam Hansen. She's
Exactly.
And Pam.
Okay, is there anything else that we need to discuss?
We need a secretary.
Oh,
Oh,
secretary.
yeah, we need a secretary.
Anyone interested in relieving Michael?
Oh, Kristen will do it. Oh, good.
So worried about my time commitments.
Okay.
But
Oh, wait, who volunteered?
Kristen.
Chris,
Kristen, okay. Do you want to actually take the notes, Kristen?
whatever I should do to be helpful.
Oh,
Margaret, you're awfully good with the notes, but if you'll coach me, or if you're doing them, you let me know. Either way.
I don't mind. I don't mind doing them. I'll just let you know if I can't make it, but that doesn't happen very often.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Usually the process is that Margaret types them up and then sends them to you, and then you put them in Word and reformat them, send them to the chair and to Ginger for review. That's basically how it goes.
And then there are other secretary responsibilities that I'm taking over from Michael.
There's a book. So Michael will give
yes,
you the
I've
book
got the
somehow.
book, which I can get to you somehow. And you need to file the minutes with the town clerk.
Okay.
And the chair's been filing the agenda when she posts the meeting. So you haven't been having to do that. But sometimes the secretary does that too.
Okay. Well, I'll follow up with you to get the book and to talk about anything else.
I can figure out how to get it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think there's a whole description of the role of the secretary in there
Great.
and what you have to do. Yes. Okay.
I have a question that relates to the meeting timing again. Carolyn, if you're going to set it up for the rest of the year, I'm pretty concerned that in what the answer would be for Susan Bates as to whether their meeting is going to shift times, because I think it's really helpful to have someone at our meetings from the select board and be able to be that direct liaison and be here with us. So I'm wondering how long, you know, I'm a little reluctant to have you sign up for the whole year before we know the answer as to whether the select board is going to continue meeting at the same time.
Well, I don't think we should change it now because we don't know what the select board is doing. But if the select board chooses to meet Monday afternoons, then at our next meeting, we can discuss again whether we should change it. We can't discuss it until we know what they're doing. So if I have Kate set up the Zoom meetings, it'll be a repeating meeting for the year. She can also go and change that. So say we set it up for Mondays at 4 and then decide to do Tuesdays at 4. She can just change the whole string. That's not a problem.
Okay, good.
It will still be the same link.
Right, but you have to remember she might need her Zoom credentials if she herself has a meeting. So we still have to coordinate with Kate if we're using her Zoom credentials to set the meeting. She might have a conflict.
Okay.
you know, I leave this board with great confidence in all of you. So I'm sure that it will go on great guns. That's really good. I feel good about that. When I listen to all of you talk and everything, it feels great that it's going to be just fine.
Thank you, Anne. Okay, anything else?
Margaret,
Yeah.
I didn't get the corrections to the August minutes. Can you email me a copy of your changes?
Oh, sure. Are you technically still the secretary, or when does it switch over?
Well, I can file these minutes because I've got them.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, I'll include both of you so you can see how it works.
You all need to take an official vote to elect Carol Ann and Kristen.
yes, we should.
Okay,
So I move that we elect Caroline as chair and Kristen as secretary of the Council on Aging Advisory Board.
I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
I,
Okay, I think anyone oppose? Okay, Kristen, we're it. Okay. Anything else?
Good to see you all. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, it was a great meeting.
Bye.
thanks,
Good
Carolyn.
session.
Everybody.
Okay, we
Thanks.
need a
Bye-bye.
motion to end the meeting.
We have to adjourn.
Adjourn, yeah. Do I hear a
And
motion?
do you have what?
I move.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, yeah,
Second.
nice having you.
Hi.
Okay, thanks, everyone. See you next
Bye-bye.
month.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Margaret,
Bye.
did you want to stay on the line? Oh, too late.
What? Nope. I didn't click it yet. Do you need to stay on for a reason?
No.
Because once I click it, I'll end it for everybody since
I
I'm
was
the
just going to
host.
ask her to give me the changes verbally instead of emailing me, but it doesn't matter.
Okay. All right. She's gone. All right. All right. Thank you all.
All right, thanks, everyone. Bye.